Good morning and welcome to Sports Central, brought to you live and exclusive from Spectrum Television, all the way from the beautiful hills of Ipiakurin in Godtone State. My name is Mfoni Tina. Quite excited to be back on your screens on the day that precedes the FIFA World Cup final, where we had Spain beating Argentina, and some corners are saying a well-deserved victory for football, because when you look at the metrics, the statistics surrounding that particular game, you'd understand that Spain were clearly the dominant and preeminent team in that particular match. We'll look at that particular match on the flip side of the show, but we'll also look at Formula One. We'll look at preparation for the fencing championships, which will be in Nigeria quite shortly. All of this would be on the flip side of the show. Remember, you can get to follow us on all social media handles. Head to Facebook, head to Twitter, and go to Instagram as well. Hit the follow button at Spectrum TV Nigeria. Most importantly, hit the subscribe button at our YouTube channel. We'll take just a quick break. I will be right back. Starting with fencing this morning, the Commonwealth Fencing Federation has confirmed that host Nigeria, Australia, and 18 other countries have successfully met the registration deadline for the 2026 Commonwealth Fencing Championships, scheduled to take place in Lagos from August 9th to 14th. India will field the largest contingent with 67 fencers set to compete across the veteran, under 23, para and senior categories in the EP, foil and sabre. Other participating nations include Bangladesh, Botswana, Cyprus, England, Ghana, Guernsey, Jamaica, Kenya, Mauritius, Namibia, Northern Ireland, Pakistan, Singapore, South Africa, the Gambia, Togo, as well as Wales. The president of the Federation, Tufo Marie France, highlighted the significance of the event, noting that it marks the return of the championships to Africa after a decade. Quickly to tennis, where Stefanos Tsitsipas is back to title-winning business. The former number 3 in the ATP rankings on Sunday clinched his first ATP Tour crown for nearly 17 months after a hard-earned triumph at the Swiss Open in Gstaad. Tsitsipas held off Rafael Collion 6-4, 6-7, 6-3 for his fourth three-set victory of the week, and with it, the trophy at the Clay ATP 250 event. As a result of his Gstaad title run, Tsitsipas will today rise 30 spot to number 55 in the rankings. The 27-year-old is the first Greek to win at the tournament in the Swiss Alps. Now to female tennis stories. The Women's Tennis Association is to require all players to undergo genetic sex testing in order to compete on the WTA Tour. In the latest edition of its women's eligibility policy, which will come into effect on Tuesday, players will be required to provide a cheek swab, blood or saliva sample to test for the presence of the SRY gene, which is part of the Y chromosome and causes male characteristics to develop. Players will be tested just once in their lifetime, and only a negative result showing no presence of the gene will permit them to compete on the tour. If that tests positive, players would face further medical assessment before being allowed to play. The new policy also requires players to sign a document that states they could face disciplinary action if they refuse testing. The WTA's previous policy, last updated in 2024, allowed transgender women to compete on the tour if they had lowered their testosterone levels to below 2.5 continuously for the previous 2 years. There are no known transgender women currently playing on the WTA Tour, but the policy change comes a year after World Athletics announced new regulations brought into effect in September 2025, requiring athletes wanting to compete in the female category for world ranking competitions to take a one-time gene test. Now to Formula One, where Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli re-established his comfortable championship lead that had been eroded in the past 3 races with victory in the Belgian Grand Prix, while teammate George Russell crashed out. The Italian fought back from losing position during a virtual safety car period to catch and pass Ferrari's Charles Leclerc for his sixth win in 10 races this season. Russell, meanwhile, was taken out in a collision with Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton on the opening lap and has dropped to third place in the standings, 50 points behind Antonelli. Hamilton was re-promoted to second place in the championship, 5 points ahead of Russell with a fourth place finish. Red Bull's Max Verstappen took the final podium place in Belgium with a third place finish. Now to the main event, where Spain deservedly won a desperately disappointing World Cup final as Ferran Torres' extra time strike finally broke the resistance of 10-man Argentina. The European title holders had created the best opportunities against the defending world champions, who mainly resorted to spoiling tactics and had Enzo Fernandez sent off just before the game went into extra time. Torres was the hero for Spain when he collected substitute Nico Williams' header to beat Argentina goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez with a powerful shot from close range after 106 minutes. The game failed to live up to expectations as it descended into a war of attrition, which, away from the action, this was the World Cup where razzmatazz and superstars came to the showpiece. President Donald Trump flew into New Jersey in one of a fleet of helicopters before kickoff, while Shakira, Madonna, and Justin Bieber performed in the first World Cup halftime show, stretching the interval out to 27 minutes. In a dual affair littered with interruptions, followed by that lengthy interval, the game never had any fluency or flow, although Lamine Yamal and Mikel Oyarzabal forced first-half serves out of the Argentine goalkeeper. The game boiled over in stoppage time when Fernandez, who had already been cautioned, received the second yellow card for a reckless challenge on Spain defender Pau Kubasi. Argentina keeper Martinez had been their hero, and he prevented Spain scoring a winner in the final seconds of normal time when he made a superb save from Lamine Yamal's free kick. He was in action again with another crucial stop from Williams' header. Williams then had a goal ruled out for substitute Mikel Merino foul on Nicolas Otamendi. Argentina came back to beat Egypt and England in the knockout stage, but could not repeat defeat as Spain won the Men's World Cup for the second time. And it means they become the first nation ever to be men's and women's world champions at the same time. And that concludes Sport Wrap-Up for this morning, but not to worry, the guys will join the conversation quite shortly as we share all the feelers and reactions for the World Cup final. Stick around.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to another exciting moment. We talk about incredible talking points around the world of the World Cup and the world of sports. Because no matter how you want to look at it, the key talking point will be about the World Cup that just taken place. We're looking at the 2026 World Cup in North America and all the drama that unfolded and Spain winning it. We'll do a bit the most we can to touch on other talking points and other sporting activities, both in Africa at home and Europe. It will be a conversation this morning. But the World Cup has come to an end. The 2026 edition, which spanned through Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America, and the final taking place yesterday at the MetLife Stadium. Quite exciting in New Jersey and New York. Spanish national team being the first team to do the Euro or World Cup double. In 2008, the Spanish national team won the Euros, went to 2010 and won the World Cup, and 2012 won the Euros again. And now moving forward, the double in terms of Euro or World Cup. The first team to do that, the Spanish national team, in 2024 won the Euros, and now they've won the 2026 World Cup. The question would be, will they go all the way to win the 2028 Euros? I'm not alone in the house. The guys are seated on a table of greatness, ready to drink from the cup of greatness. Utube David from the far corner, and Fonitina being part of this mix. Good morning, Utube. Good to see you.
A delight to be back. Good morning, Blyden. I think I'm quite excited because we're actually looking at the aftermath of the recently concluded World Cup. What happened? How has it been so far, particularly? And from here, we should be looking at what next, particularly for these players, because they should be resting and then looking forward to club football.
Well, Fonitina, I don't know if you're part of those people that are looking forward to rest for some of those players because it's a hectic World Cup, an expanded edition. We heard FIFA really talk about a possibility of expanding the World Cup to 64 nations. Every now and then it comes up, then they say it won't happen, then it comes up again. But what a World Cup we've had.
I think it's been an exciting, tournament so far. We've had lots of things to talk about, lots of talking points, political angle of it, and then even the sporting angle of it. So I think it's been exciting. Let's talk sports.
All right, let's talk sports. We can't afford not to talk about this without just going through it from the aspect of the World Cup. Many awards were given, but we go straight to the game and look at yesterday's game. What a game it was. 0-0 at regulation time, spanned through extra time. And we talk about Ferran Torres scoring in extra time and giving them that victory, the Spanish national team. And in the first 90 minutes of the game, it was a 0 shot off target for Argentina, a 0 shot on target for Argentina, and no goal for Argentina, no corner at some point for Argentina in the course of it, a total dominance by the Spanish national team. We're going to talk about the awards, but David, I'll start with you. What a remarkable final we had in this one, a 2026 edition. One of the marks of this World Cup was having to hear Donald Trump analyze football at the end of it. Every now and then, there was always a conversation, what transpired, how the game went. And I think he had a top-level analysis in the course of it, despite saying soccer is not a state. But what a game of football we had yesterday.
Well, it's been, of course, quite an entertaining final, I must say, despite being maybe disappointing, especially by those who supported Argentina through to the finals. But I think for me, it was entertaining because I actually saw what many actually didn't, see coming ahead of that particular finals. First of all, it was about a total dominance of the Spanish national team against the Argentine counterpart. I recall before the start of this particular final, I actually talked about one thing that's very, very profound about how the Spanish national team, even in a situation where they will be under pressure, hold their onions and, of course, ensure that they play the possessive, based football we've seen, the Spanish national team play over the years. And in as much as the game spanned through 90 minutes, we still saw the Spanish side holding their own off until the very end of the particular game. And it shows discipline. It shows the fundamental structure, particularly at the Spanish national team, level. For the Argentine, very disappointing by every stretch for me. First of all, not holding, much of the ball in that particular game, not even having any shots on target. Vima Martinez had to serve 10 shots under 90 minutes, and he kept them in the game all through the entire duration of 90 minutes. It would have actually been more, if not the man, of course, level of clinicality, in between the sticks rather for the side. So I think for the Spanish national team, I must say they are deserving champions. They've actually continued on this particular possessive-based football since the start of it until the end of it. Even when they actually went through to extra time, they were not pressured whatsoever. And it shows that Spain actually have got quality right here. And for me, they're actually deserving champions.
Quite deserving champions. We've spoken about the Spanish national team. But fun, let's start from when you look at the final and talking about the two sides. Did expect it to be a total dominance from Spain, despite the goals not really coming, but the resilience that came from Argentina, not surprising. And some of the tackles, the push up, Argentina playing dirty at the end of it, but basically what it is, Spain, national team winning the title this time.
Well, I think if anyone says that was an exciting final, first just being diplomatic, it was disappointed by our standards. This is the first final we've seen a one-sided encounter in the World Cup final. Even when we had France against Croatia, you look at that particular final, 2018, it was more of, two different teams. France had more stars than Croatia and all of that, but still Croatia were up to the task. And now you look at Argentina against Spain, defending champions at that time, as at time of the match. So we'd expect more from the Argentina. I was quite disappointed. It's all about adrenaline and the dirty gimmicks by the Argentine players. That's all they brought to the game. So I was asking myself,
he's kept them that long in the tournament also.
Yeah, but my question was, is this all you brought to the final? All about, those dirty tackles and all of that and the mind games. Is that all you brought to the World Cup final? It was quite sad. But I think Spain won that. It was a victory for football. Football deserved that particular win yesterday. I think it was just so disappointing. Looking at the party of, Leonel Scaloni and the boss, I think they should have brought more to the party. That was a very disappointing final by all metrics.
A question would be what they could have done any different at the end of it.
Football.
They played that system all through the tournament. Yeah. First half, quite defensive. Then comes in second half and try to batter you and allow Lionel Messi to do the magic for you. But the Spanish team kept Messi at bay, especially possession-based football. Yeah. We've talked about it. We saw it against this French national team in the semi-finals. When they're passing the ball with such level of confidence and precision, always going to account for something. Yeah. And would you say that was the margin that changed the narrative for them against the Argentines?
Discipline, all that mattered for the Spanish team. Being able to be...
Just to interrupt your thoughts, so you are side by side. You saw, during the twilight of the game, you saw the way the Argentines were pumping the ball upward. Absolutely. And it was difficult for Spanish national team to handle it. Yes, many would say it was late in the game. Yeah. Players are exhausted all through. Absolutely. But at the end of it, what a game from Spain.
Well, I think the Spanish national team kept their discipline. They kept the way they play football, even when they were actually under pressure. They keep the ball on the ground, possess the game, particularly not allowing the Argentine, players to actually get hold of the ball for large periods of time. And then when you actually have such players who are able to actually handle the ball without being pressured, there is always going to be every level of, particularly frustration on the side of your opponents, which we saw from the Argentine side. Even when, of course, the Spanish national team were leading and the Argentine team, tried to, peg them back by asking bulk of the questions, the Spanish national team did not succumb to those pressure. And that to a large extent shows the remarkable strides of this particular side. Talk about the Spanish national team. I think it's about, fundamentals for the side. The Spanish, side have got one aspect of how they play their football. And it has actually stayed with the side for a large period of time. You see it with Barcelona. You see it with other, Spanish teams in the, Spanish La Liga. And as a matter of fact, it does also transcend towards, other, levels of the national team. But the women talk about the under-17. The last 5 years, I've seen, the Spanish national team from the under-17 win 16 trophies, both in Europe and even in the international scene. And if you look at the way they play, it's about being possessive kind of game. They're always dominating games and ensuring they stay to their tactics. And I think yesterday paid off for them. The Argentine side was struggling to get the momentum of the game, struggling to get hold of the ball. And when you do not give ball away like that to the Argentine side, they get frustrated and they start playing dirty. And I think the Spanish side deserved this particular win with such discipline we saw yesterday.
Talk about discipline in this one, the way the Spanish side have played that game makes all the difference. But let's quickly, the mark of it, part of a controversy that took place was his name, Paredes, also having to tackle players and fight in the course of it. Absolutely. Came in second half of the game, got a yellow card, and throughout the game, many argue probably could have gotten.
I was disappointed at what he did after the final whistle.
Yeah, he could have gotten a red card even in the course of it. Yeah. Lots of tackle, left, right, and center, not caring whether he's on the red card. But Enzo Fernandez being red carded in the course of it. But at the end of the game, Paredes got a red card. Yeah. At the end of it, that battle with Gavi and who are in there, not making sense. Absolutely. Not good for football, many would say. But quickly, let's go to the awards, because this is where it matters most. Another controversial spanner some international, probably the pro-Messi group, are saying the award could have gone to Lionel Messi for the best player of the tournament. The best player of the tournament, Rodri. Unfortunately, let's talk about it. Rodri, quite deserving for you. FIFA have looked at Rodri and said, well, for me, as far as I'm concerned, the semi-finals, Rodri was absolutely fantastic against France. The finals yesterday was absolutely the man of the match for me, absolutely fantastic. But many are arguing it should have been Lionel Messi at the age of 39, what he's done, the goals he scored. Remember, Kylian Mbappe scored the most goal at this tournament. In the words of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he said, at the time that Messi really deserved it the most, it wasn't given to him.
Well, I think Messi's finally getting a little bit of a piece of the medicine, because right now he deserves something that's not given to him. We've had times he passed where someone else deserves something that was given to Messi.
Let's be clear about
that's basically what Ibrahimovic is saying. This is the time he deserved it the most.
That's what he's saying. But what are you saying in this?
Well, I'm
Rodri
saying,
deserving, Messi deserving.
I think Rodri deserves the best player at the World Cup, FIFA 2026 World Cup. He's been the best player for Spain. Look at it that way. So if Spain won the World Cup, are you giving the Golden Ball, which is the award for the best player of the World Cup? It goes to the best player of the best team. So it's basically what I don't know why people are crying about Messi. He didn't win the World Cup. Nobody cares about his goal. He should have won the Golden Boot.
Is that all the best players that ends up winning the World Cup?
I'm beginning to question the metrics as which the Lionel Messi fans are actually presuming should have been given to Messi. It wasn't even the highest goal scorer at the World Cup level.
Come on.
Not even the highest
best
assist as well.
So
what are the premise of giving the best player? Because he scored goals? No, come on. He's not done that. Well, I think Rodri deserves it for me and not Lionel Messi.
If you're talking about goals, then Erling Haaland should get a shot as
well.
well.
Mbappe should get it.
What we're talking about. Mbappe is the highest goal scorer in the tournament, 10 goals. And so far, let me just switch gear and talk about Kylian Mbappe. He's the first player to have a golden boot at 2 World Cups. And we're not talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. We're not talking about Lionel Messi. We're not talking about Klose and the rest of them that met that mark. We're not talking about Ronaldo Nazario. We're talking about Kylian Mbappe. 2022 World Cup was the highest goal scorer. And now, 2026 World Cup, he's the highest goal scorer. And not just that, he's gotten the record goals in the World Cup and is still able to play for the World Cups in that 22 total goals at the World Cup. Kylian Mbappe. And maybe in your words, I remember we're talking about it, mentioned he turns up at the World Cup. He plays a World Cup as if it's a neighborhood tournament for him. Mr. World Cup, I can call him. But the mark is, he's won it already. He could have won it the second or the third time.
Well, I think for Kylian Mbappe, just like I said the other time, we talk about the Champions League as Cristiano Ronaldo's oyster. I think this is Kylian Mbappe's competition as well. The man has cemented himself as one of the best players ever at the World Cup. Right now, I can say Kylian Mbappe is the best player to ever grace the World Cup. And I could maybe bring my arguments for it, and I'll be right.
Zidane, Pele, lots of names to talk about.
How many World Cups did they win? How many finals did they reach? That's just it. So I said I can see, and I can also bring my argument for it.
Reach 2 finals. Yeah,
Kylian Mbappe has reached 2 as well.
Yeah,
so we're looking at it that way.
The best player at the World Cup.
So I think Kylian Mbappe, we get to see the best of this man's past. I think right now he's 26. He's 27 rather. He's 27 now. I'm looking at the next 3. I look at Cristiano Ronaldo really hit his peak around 30, 31. So I'm looking at Kylian Mbappe could be the same thing for the man. So we get to see the best that can come out of this man. I just hope he gets to maintain his level of competition, because one thing that's kept Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo at this level is their longevity. So I just wish we can have the same for Kylian Mbappe, for what a player he is.
And what a player is. One young star, the young star of the tournament. Most often than not, when you talk about a young star, you talk about Lamine Yamal, but this time was a Spaniard player in this one, doing quite well. Not now, I'm going to talk about Paco Arce, and the goalkeeper of the tournament, the safe hand of the tournament, Unai Simon, a Spanish goalkeeper who plays for Athletic Club. And we're talking about goal mission, Kylian Mbappe, 10 goals, and the king of assists, Michael Olise, with 7 assists in this. The deadliest attack at this tournament, it's England and France, both teams scoring 20 goals apiece, and the strongest defense, Spain, just conceded 1 goal. Well, Uchuma David, what a game, what a tournament we've seen at this tournament so far. Massive teams participating, but there's always something, a breakout star of the tournament. I don't know. You've gone through the World Cup. Paredes was absolutely fantastic. Come from Argentina, plays club football Argentina. Has done so well at this tournament, but for the finals. He's done well at this tournament, but for the finals, yes. But a breakout star for you at the tournament.
But I think for me, it has to be Joan Mazambi. The man recently moved to Aston Villa. He plays for Switzerland. quite a young star who also proved that you don't necessarily have to play for a very top national team at the World Cup to showcase what you're made of. He chose to go to Aston Villa, not because he didn't have other suitors, but when you look at the developmental process of a young star, you need to play more. So that's why he chose to join Unai Emery's team. I think he's a standout for me. I wouldn't say Paul Kibasi because I knew him before even the World Cup.
Yeah.
I only get to know Mozambique at the World Cup level and his qualities. So I think the man in this World Cup has really shown why a youngster, if given the opportunity at the highest level, should actually showcase his qualities.
Should actually showcase his quality, which I was talking about. But one key mark from Paul Kibasi for me has been those outside 18 strike for. He's been absolutely phenomenal for Spanish national team. When you arrive at that point and strike the ball, I think it was against France, thereabout, scored that wonderful goal for them. Massive, or late to that wonderful goal to strike. And the goalkeeper spilled it late to that wonderful goal. Which other game there, we saw a similar act. And against Argentina, it could have been even the same. But massive performances. Valentina, before we leave the World Cup conversation, direct World Cup conversation, a breakout star for you also?
I think it has to be Ayub Boadi of the Moroccan team. I think the man has done quite well for himself. I think he's been, I think behind Paul Kobasi, he has to be top three, young stars of the tournament. Came in on the back of that controversy. Should he have switched to Morocco? Should he have stayed put with the France national team? Because some are saying if he had stayed put, maybe 4 years from now we'll see him at the World Cup for France. But the man said, no, I'm going to Morocco. He went there. He played well. He actually, gave a good account of himself. I'm here in Manchester City at Chebrin, 100 million euros bid for him. So we've got a lot of young stars at this tournament. John Manzambi, like UT mentioned. What's his name now? Ayub Boadi, I mentioned. Lots of stars have come through the ranks, and I'm just excited. The next 4 years, we're going to have lots of exciting players who've come out, who've emerged as a result of this particular tournament.
Exciting players emerging as a result of this tournament. One interesting conversation of the World Cup would be when you look at Cucurella. Cucurella just barely 1 year ago won the Club World Cup with Chelsea, and now he's won the World Cup. And he said if he wins the World Cup, he's going to retire from a national team. We'll wait to see how that gets to happen because there's nothing to play for. He's won the Euros. He said he's going to do a tattoo of the coach, Del Fonte, on his body. So far, I think he's done the tattoo. And from what we're hearing, the coach is saying he didn't send him to do it, that he doesn't look that ugly on the tattoo. But whatsoever it is, fantastic. This year, I tend to belong to Spanish coaches. The year belonged to Spanish coaches in terms of performances. Luis de la Fuente, a World Cup champion. Luis Enrique, a Champions League champion. We're talking about Unai Emery, a Europa League champion, and Mikel Arteta, a Premier League champion in that. Spanish coaches are absolutely fantastic. As we leave the conversation with Lionel Messi, we can talk about he's won everything. If you want to talk about it, what a ride at the age of 39. We cannot fail to talk about it. The debate between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo even heightens up, but it solidifies his legacy this particular tournament at the age of 39. And probably what next for Leo Messi.
I think the man's importance and greatness to the Argentine national team can't be overemphasized. I mean, if we want to really talk about how good he is, maybe we won't leave here. But over time, we've actually questioned, Lionel Messi, especially in the build up to this tournament. I could recall there were several questions. Come on, this man is 39. What exactly will he be offering to the Argentine national team?
Started at 38.
I started at 39. Well, you look at the very fact that hitting the ground running the first, match of this particular tournament for the Argentine side, on and on until the finals. Unfortunately, it didn't go down well for the side. Well, particularly for me, I think I'm looking at Lionel Messi, calling it quits at the national team level, because I think he's done it all. He's won it all at the national team level. What else is there? I mean, before the next World Cup, we should be talking about close to 45 or thereabouts. 43.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo hasn't retired yet.
Well, I do not see Ronaldo in the next World Cup. I do not see Ronaldo in the next World Cup.
A man of feature in the next, but still going to play international football.
For Lionel Messi,
targeting 1,000 goals, remember?
Yeah, at club level, he could get that club level. No longer, must not be at the national team, because playing at the national team where you're not adding value to that national team, I mean, it's really frustrating. So for Messi, for me, I think it's even best to leave when the ovation is loudest. Yeah, many would say, arguably, might still have, 2 valuable years with the Argentine national team, but a very big international competition come the next edition, which will be the World Cup. I do not see Messi being part of the
Look at the Argentine national team without Messi. A picture that you can
They look
have
vulnerable.
Now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the next generation superstar that gets to come to replace him in Argentina. A discussion probably for another day.
I doubt we'd ever see another Lionel Messi in the Argentine team.
Well, is he the greatest for you? The greatest to ever grace a football game.
Absolutely.
Better than Pele, better than Diego Armando Maradona, better than Johan Cruyff, better than you can name them.
I think Messi is the best. He's the greatest, and I think he's glaring to watch at the highest level. He's won everything. He's won the Champions League. Some of those players you've mentioned played in their local leagues. They didn't come to mainstream Europe at the time. Many would question. Many would question they had quality leagues as well.
I know you're talking about Pele in the
absolutely. But you look at Lionel Messi at the height and level of the Champions League. Want to talk about the World Cup? Want to talk about the Copa America? He's won everything that is there to win. So Messi, for me, the greatest of all time.
Well, unfortunately, I gave a cheeky smile. I put that side by side because I know you have comments for it. But put it side by side with a young superstar now, Lamine Yamal. Many would say it wasn't his tournament at this particular one, but he's got a stack of records so far. Yeah. The things he's won at the age of 18, won Euros, won the La Liga, won so many. Now we can't even call him a youngster, just turned 19 at this tournament, and it won the World Cup. And it's come out to say, look, as you have many World Cups to play, as you want to win the Champions League, I think the only thing that seems to dilute him now is the Champions League. Yeah. Lamine Yamal. Put that side by side. Lionel Messi, the greatest. I saw that cheeky smile from you, and then Lamine Yamal.
No, the smile only came in when you mentioned Johan Cruyff. Mentioned those players. I don't even know who they are. But I think two players would always go down as the best ever to grace the football pitch. That's Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi.
Well, many people don't think that
other player,
Maradona.
No other player comes close to what these players have been able to do. Look at the longevity.
Look at the records.
Look at the trophies.
Both of their goals came when they were in offside rules.
Exactly. What are you talking about? I think it's just nostalgia.
It was a lot tougher.
Tougher?
So.
Yeah,
I watch Maradona. Maradona is juggling the ball on his head into the goalpost.
Here's another conversation.
No. Let's be sincere with ourselves. Who does that in the current era?
When there were no VR to review decisions.
Imagine you doing that against Leandro Paredes at the World Cup.
When the referee didn't see. Hold on.
All of those instances.
David, massive respect for them because you have to. I want to touch that VAR. VAR means they can cancel your goal and it's offside.
Absolutely.
When it's not. VAR means, without VAR means you can score a goal and by the eye they say it's not a goal, it's offside. It also means that it can favor you. That's what it means.
In most cases, when they were scoring those goals, they were scoring it with hands, with legs, with eyes, without even the linesman or even the central referee having the glimpse of what happens.
What about cases where there were red cards right now? The tackles that we call red cards and send the player and protect the player. Maradona, they were beating Maradona and the referee would say, stand up and play.
These two players are playing with mechanisms that can be reviewed and either the goals given or taken off.
It support attacking play.
It supports, but it also limits.
All of these mechanisms
let's just wrap that up. Ask me about that.
Remember the goalkeepers.
Let's
back pass. Remember back pass. Hold on a minute. Remember back pass were handled with a hand.
Let me tell you.
So it makes it difficult for goal, even attackers to score goals.
The likes of Messi and Ronaldo will score up to 2,000 goals.
No, it's not possible.
It's possible.
No, it's not.
How many goals have they ruled out?
After what we've seen, this man, you're saying it's impossible.
How many goals have they ruled out from Messi this
Look at the picture. Look at the picture, David. Remember, even I think was it 1994 World Cup. The goalkeeper was still grabbing the back pass with a hand. So when the attacking player comes in a difficult situation, you pass the ball to the goalkeeper, he picks it with a hand, bounce it, and starts afresh. It was difficult to score goals, more goals then. It's a lot easier to score goals.
Well, one thing, I still don't understand. I still don't, of course, buy that idea because Pele playing at this time, no doubt about that, he was quality.
Maradona?
Yeah. But I think his goals will be limited if those goals, bulk of those goals are reviewed now.
I see the tackles they give. I know we have to move away, but I see the tackles they give to Maradona, and the referee will tell they punch Maradona in the course of it. Messi will not survive it. Leo will not survive it.
I think if you watch closely, you see Messi also had some of those very rough tackles. It comes with the kind of player you are. When you play that way,
he's protected.
I understand.
He's protected. The whistle goes. A yellow card is given. Players are careful. 2-footed tackles on Maradona. No yellow card.
Let's bring it back.
Come on.
And see how many
if they're the new school, I'm the old school. It makes sense we keep it that way.
1,500 goals before
that says it's an old stage. No problem. Well, Mfon never really watched Maradona, so he can. Neither did I anyway, so apart from 1994 World Cup. But the truth is, just like you picture Zidane and say, what did Zidane do? Sorry, Zidane? Come on. One of the greatest players to ever grace the sport. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's just Twilight. One of the greatest footballers that have ever graced the sport. I feel we have to go on a quick break. Enough of a talk from the World Cup, but massive World Cup we had. We'll go on that break when we return. We'll continue with some of the football stories around the world. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's been an exciting conversation around the 2026 World Cup and the drama that unfolds even further, the excitement in the course of it. And well, if you're wondering why I'm smiling, I can't tell you exactly behind the scenes stuff taking place, but it has to do with football stories and the World Cup conversation. So we continue with football stories as the guys are still with me for company going norward to David and Fonitina. From the World Cup perspective, not the World Cup now, but football perspective, it would be the WAFCON, 6 players yet to join the Super Falcons camp as WAFCON preparation gather momentum. We're ready for it. We're looking for the drama that comes in at the end of it, but a preparation stop gear, which will David, I'll start with you on this one. Super Falcons, 6 players not yet in camp.
Well, I think both of them will arrive later today. I saw a picture on Instagram of Michelle Elozie watching the World Cup finals in the United States, so it certainly means she possibly may actually arrive today before the end of today in camp. I understand the very fact that the World Cup gathers lots of momentum, and some of those players also had to rest before traveling. It will be a long distance journey for them, so hopefully before the end of the day they should arrive.
Hopefully before the end of the day they get to arrive, which they were speaking about it. Meanwhile, Gifterman is near joining Ahmed Sport Super League loan move. Well, funny thing, we saw, I think, towards the end of last season in Italy, that altercation that happened. Most often than not, when you have an altercation of that nature with a fan, because probably they touch your car, hit your car or something, in the course of it always leads to some level of movement and possibility of a Gifterman leaving Italy and going to Turkey.
Well, I think Gifterman has to be one of the biggest what ifs of Nigerian football. We've never really seen, we've never really known what can this man do, what can he offer. It's quite sad, but I can only wish the man the best of luck. I cannot talk about this particular move. I saw lots of Nigerians in the comment section of this particular announcement. They say that I cannot say congratulations for this kind of deal. This deal alongside Kelechi Iheanacho's move to the Super League 2. So I don't know what is wrong with Nigerian players, but let's just hope they get to put themselves in order.
I'm quite sad regarding Kelechi Iheanacho, you've said now, but at the end of it, it's all about money, especially at this level.
League?
Yeah, so I had money? Maybe they paid more than what Celtic wanted to pay.
Offered more.
Celtic wanted to pay him below £50,000.
That's the Scottish League. You could have left the Scottish League for something better.
Well, it depends on
also talking about how many offers were on the table.
You're telling me no club in the Turkish Super League wanted Kelechi Iheanacho?
No, you
never can tell.
You never can tell. Maybe the offer is coming, or maybe he doesn't want top football any longer. They just want to play easy.
That was the best option he got at the time.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah, especially when you're plagued with injury. Some players have been plagued with injury and they're back. Even in Scotland, he was barely playing, comes in late into the game, but it was impactful for a Celtic. Quickly, let's talk about this man, Gifterman, who's been on your screen for a while. We've gone past the conversation of Gifterman. Let's talk about Wilfred Ndidi. We hear Besiktas have rejected €7 million bid from Saudi Arabian club Al Deria. For Wilfred Ndidi, a Turkish club values the Super Eagles captain closer to €10 million and unwilling to sell unless the asking price is met. The Saudi club coming with that level of amount of money, despite it being cheap, by the way. But it's that conversation we hear. Wilfred Ndidi to Saudi Pro League, Al Deria, and interested in Wilfred, but they're saying at least make it up to 10. Is that bad for Wilfred?
10 is even a steal. I do not know. Maybe he's because he's African
he's
player.
30. We should also
I understand. Come on, 30.
Yeah, he's 30.
30 is not old enough in football.
I mean, it's old in football parlance.
I do not think so.
Players
are moving.
No, for Saudi League,
come on. Why are you talking like this?
So it is
30 years.
For the Saudi League.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not old.
Which of them, apart from Christian
Telemans is joining United at 29. He will be 30.
That's Telemans.
He will be 30 at some point. That's what I'm telling you. 30 is not big.
About Saudi League, right?
Yes. No. Saudi League and the Premier League, which is tougher?
I'm saying Wilfred Ndidi. Look at his standard.
I don't know.
What does he want?
Players that have moved to the Saudi